Well, I think with the fact that you do everything online and there's the lack of travel, I think it's a lot quicker. So you can interview people faster, whether it's or conduct focus groups. So I think the timing is faster. You can pull together a project quicker than you would have been able to if you had to, reserve a focus group facility and travel and then, things like that. And then even like insights on the back end, I think are a little bit faster online than what you would get in person.
Um, so I think the best part for me of online has been the ability to get around the country efficiently and quickly. You can get like real diversity and depth in a pretty straightforward manner. I would say similar to everything that's shifted online is to search for the silver linings that you wouldn't have expected. So we recently did some online Qual where we sent somebody some food. And so it was like they could actually have their food in their kitchen and then be able to talk, like write about it with it in front of them.
There's the 5 o'clock group. Well, no one can really, not everybody can get off work at 4:45 or 4:40. So the group always starts late or somebody's stuck at work. Now they put it on their schedule and they show up. So I think the show rates have been actually quite much higher.
Being able to offer up physicians or C-suite or whatever it is, the opportunity to sort of have a real conversation, but they don't have to leave their home even. I think that there's room for some of these niche audiences to kind of be also conducted in this way moving forward, and you can get that face-to-face versus just a phone call.
Well, like, so for example, like you have people write down an answer to something, like if you're doing an ad test and you say, okay, what's the one thing it's trying to communicate? When you have people write it down in the room, you just go to one person and you don't know what they've written down. I can see what they've written down, I can go to the person who obviously understood it the least.
When I have the option of doing them online, the way the pandemic has necessitated, I have more time to take on more work. I can be doing one-on-one executive phone interviews in the morning, or I can be managing other kind of online work. Kind of, I have more free time to work more, but also to be at home and selfishly give my kids lunch.
You can get much more for bang for your buck, I guess. In person. We've done in person for the same client and then followed up with online. And like, I think that what we spent for the second phase doing online was what the client spent on their travel budget, getting their agencies and the product people and the brand people and the research people. So I think you can probably get more bang for the buck.
I mean, I remember the first online group I did, and I was concerned about how that was going to go. Was it going to be harder to get people to speak because we had this wall in between us versus being around the table? And I was really pleasantly surprised. People were super comfortable, and maybe it's because they were in their own living room. And my clients also after the fact said, we were concerned, but we got richer, as good as any experience we have had with you in person.
Easier for them, more enjoyable, come right in, work on your time, just spend an hour and a half with me really concentrating on this, and then, click and you're home.
The convenience is so much better. I can go in, spin up the computer, and 5 minutes later, I'm in a focus group. And honestly, it's not that much different from being in person, at least from a participant perspective, at least.
Being in person, one of the stressors can be, behind that glass for research, like there are people back there listening and watching everything that you're doing. And I'm sure that still happens, right? But it's not as intense as having that, that glass back there and knowing that there are people listening and watching and perhaps giving instructions.